Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. We've had a couple of days of relatively small Eldar related articles and I didn't really feel like doing a video yesterday because I didn't think the article warranted a full video by itself, but alongside the one that they did today, I thought we would mix them together and go through a few more of the new rules that they have previewed for the upcoming Aeldari Codex. And so yesterday they gave us a bit more info about the upcoming Phoenix Lords, and whilst it wasn't quite as expansive as I was hoping, I thought maybe they would show off a few more of the unique rules and abilities that each Phoenix Lord would bring along. We did at least get to see another new rule for Morgan Ra in his Harvester of Souls aura. And what this does is it gives all Dark Reaper units +2 leadership and also the Obsec rule whilst they are within 6 inches of him, which is a genuinely really nice, not terribly exciting, but really nice and quite powerful rule. And they also further clarified that all of the Phoenix Lords will have a similar style rule for their respective aspect units as well, which is going to be really nice for allowing you to bring a solid, powerful, aspect heavy army that can still secure objectives and win games of 9th edition, because obviously objectives are the name of the game in 9th edition. They mentioned that Dire Avengers with Assaman can advance into the midfield before cutting their enemies down, so perhaps some kind of extra movement shenanigans on top of battle focus, whilst Baharoth and his swooping hawks can appear deep in enemy territory to claim objectives, so maybe something along the lines of their mid-game deep strike or that kind of rule. They don't give us too much really, but it does seem that the particular Phoenix Lords are each going to bring some very nice objective focused rules to their respective aspects, as well as just more overtly powerful things like reroll hit rolls or extra damage or that kind of thing. It definitely gives them a bit more niche and specialization on the tabletop, which means that you can build an army that is not only going to look cool with loads of aspects in, but also perform much more effectively on the tabletop. And so from that perspective, I am a big fan of how they seem to be reimagining the role and the focus of the Phoenix Lords. But then, in addition to that little snippet, today they showed off one of the coolest Eldar warriors of all time, the infamous Pirate Lord who saved Iyanden from the Tyranids, Prince Yriel. He is back with a vengeance. His Path of Command aura still gives you the reroll hit rolls of 1, but as you would expect from 9th edition, it is only for core units. However, rather than just being generic core, he does seem to be Iyanden focused, as you would expect, so this is specifically Iyanden core, but in a really nice, interesting, flavorful twist, it does also clarify that this works with Anrathe infantry, which is the gorgeous new Corsair models that they showed off the other day. So if you want to bring some of the new Corsair units in your list as well, he can bring those along and get some nice solid buffs for them as well. They also mention that you can bring those Corsair units and they don't mess up your detachment abilities, so you still will be able to get your amazing Strands of Fate rules for your army, even if you bring a mixed detachment with Craftworld units and these new Corsair units as well. On top of that, by bringing Yriel, you get access to his Prince of Corsairs rule, which, when you're putting forces into strategic reserves before the battle begins, lets you count the power rating of Iyanden infantry and Corsair. I'm going to go with just Corsair instead of Anrathe because I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but it lets you count the power rating of Iyanden infantry and Corsair units as half of what they usually are. So this essentially lets you put, potentially, depending on how many units you've got in total of course, because there is still maximum restrictions of how many units you can put in reserve, but this potentially lets you put twice as many units into reserves as you would normally be able to, because they count as half the price. And this gives you a huge amount of tricks and shenanigans that you can pull with your army, hiding a lot more of your forces to the side and safe from any turn 1 alpha strikes, before bringing them on in later turns to, surround your enemy and crush them in a crossfire, or, just pull them on to grab objectives right where you need them to. It is a very very powerful, very unique rule that I think is very fluffy for Yriel as well, which I like. And it's going to allow you to do a force which has loads of units coming on in later turns to back up and to support the rest of your army and just strike at your opponent from all different angles, which I think plays to Yriel's fluff really, really well. The final thing they show off for Yriel is his new and very much improved Spear of Twilight, which has gone from Strength User, which is 3, -2 AP, D3 damage, to a hugely buffed overall Strength times 2, -3 AP, and flat 3 damage. It does unfortunately look as though it may have lost the Always Wounds on a 2+ ability that it currently has, which I will admit is a pain because even times 2 strength that it's going to have in the new Codex still only puts you at strength 6. So in terms of actually wounding your targets, I would say the spear has got a bit of a nerf. It has definitely got worse, but that extra pip of AP and flat 3 damage instead of D3 is a huge boost to the amount of damage that you can do overall to your opponent. And I mean, yes, whilst you may be wounding on 3s instead of 2s against things like T5 3 wound aggressors, the fact that you can guarantee dead 3 wound units, as well as having so much more reliability against 2 wound or -1 damage enemies that are all over the game at the moment, gives it so much more usability compared to the current version, in my opinion. And even targets where they may be, toughness 7 or toughness 8, where you take a big hit going from wounding on 2s to wounding on 5s, it is still going to be really, really nice to know that you will be doing 3 damage for each wound that gets through, rather than maybe rolling a 1 and just plinking 1 wound off of that tank. So I think whilst it has had some hits, it is overall much better than it was before. So there we go, a few more new nice changes coming not only to the Phoenix Lords, but also to Prince Yriel in the new Codex. But what do you think of these changes? Are you considering making a full aspect list or a pirate-themed Iyanden force led by Prince Yriel himself? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.